2025 is going to be an ugly year. It's going to be totally telling. And in my opinion, there's 4 manufacturers right now, or 4 car brands that we won't see by the end of 2025, in my own personal opinion. The first car brand is just over here. Look around this corner, not this one, not this one, but that one right there could in fact be one of the car brands gone here within a year. Jeep. Yes, we have vehicles like the Jeep Compass, clearly don't have the quality, durability, and as a matter of fact, I've seen them selling for over $55,000. Or listed for. I don't think they're selling, and Jeep has struggled with sales this year, the last 2 years since Stellantis took them over. The Carlos Tavares, the CEO, has now been booted, and unfortunately for the brand, because they've been pushed into a luxury car segment, to a market that just doesn't exist, the mainstream buyer like you and I just don't want to have anything to do with these vehicles. These vehicles are lacking in durability and reliability every which way from Sunday. Jeep, the Wranglers, we have death wobble, you have water ingress, and you have catastrophic failures. Now, while some engines, depending which engine you choose, some are better than others, gearboxes aren't great, and the bottom line is the popularity is just being lost due to pricing. Stellantis is trying to push these vehicles up market, and people just don't want to have anything to do with them. Because of the quality, the durability, the reliability of all of that, people, or lack thereof, people have gotten pretty much tired of looking at this brand, tired of looking at the prices, and the fact that you have to now pay $100,000 for a top trim level Jeep Grand Cherokee or a plug-in hybrid Wrangler with fire hazard risk and NHTSA recalls, as well as price tags associated with $80,000, $85,000, means the Jeep Grand Cherokee and every Jeep within that space within Stellantis puts them at risk of being gone within a year. So good riddance. So it looks as though Stellantis has shoveled the sidewalks right out to the garbage container and chucked the Jeep brand into the bin, going high prices, electrified, the value's not there, the quality in a lot of customers' eyes are not there. Nobody's looking to buy these Jeeps. The Wrangler is the only thing keeping that brand together, and even that's a slim margin. But it's not all beginning and ending with Jeep. Of course, we have the likes of the VAG. Volkswagen Audi Group has struggled too. They've gone too quick, too fast into the electrified market, with products that don't appeal to the customer. A lot of people aren't necessarily ready to get on that. And now in Europe, of course, the Euro 7 standards and specifications means they have to advance, but the 2030, 35 doesn't change people's opinions about electric vehicles, and Volkswagen's gone all in. The quality's not there either. Volkswagen's struggling. This brand right here, we're talking about Volkswagen. As you see right here, we have an older Tiguan buried under the snow simply because everybody left this vehicle to die. With Volkswagen and the quality control challenges they've had lately with engines like the EA888, water pump issues, carbon fouling, O2 sensors, and all kinds of engine and gearbox issues, oil burning, timing chain issues, Volkswagen has had some serious struggles in the last few years creating a vehicle that people actually want. Whether the product line feels slightly obsolete or reliability clearly is not their middle name. Vehicles, for example, like the Volkswagen Beetle, like we're looking at right here, has never really caught on like the older one did many moons ago. I mean, with quality issues, obviously rust and corrosion in these vehicles, engine issues and problems with electrics means a lot of these Volkswagens have struggled with durability, reliability issues, and people are just downright tired of Volkswagens not being built to the same standard that they were decades ago. But other than the sales going down in the proverbial tube because of quality issues, durability issues, and the fact that people are starting to realize that these vehicles cost a lot of money, they're extremely expensive to fix. The bottom line is a lot of the problems were self-induced by Volkswagen this year, where they actually started to get ahead of the electrified market. And unfortunately, they started creating vehicles like the ID4 and the Buzz, started pushing all those electric products out to the field, and less quality products in the internal combustion space means that a lot of people weren't ready to buy. Europeans weren't really ready to buy, other than a few early adopters getting in the electric market. On top of it, also as well, the North American market really is not growing, and there's a small amount of early adopters buying the electric vehicles. Other than that, the market is clearly not there. The infrastructure is not there, charging infrastructure, and as well battery range. And of course, if you look, we have snow. Cold weather has a huge impact on how long these electric vehicles can go on a charge. It drastically impacts the longevity. But on top of this, because of the poor sales, this transition and acceleration to the electrified market means that sales are in the tube. Volkswagen Audi Group have struggled with sales because of that, and as well as the quality products that we've known and talked about for some time. Profits are grossly down fall off a cliff. And sadly now there's talk about Volkswagen Audi Group this year having to lay off tens and thousands of workers, and now there's a big uproar. And unfortunately, creating products like this, people expect a good, reliable, long-lasting internal combustion engine, and they're not getting it in Volkswagen anymore. And sadly, thousands of workers are taking layoff papers, but the unions are strong in Europe, and now there's a big uproar. Workers potentially getting laid off and fired just means that now Volkswagen is in a serious world of hurt. Porsche sales are down. Almost every manufacturer within the envelope of Volkswagen is seeing some drastic reductions in sales. And even Porsche, part of the VAG group, said, you know what, we were going to go pure electric with vehicles like the Macan and the Boxster. They've even now retracted and said, no, you know what, okay, we will put an engine in those vehicles too, because they're realizing the market is not really ready to go pure EV, and no matter how hard they want to push, if the buyers aren't buying, the vehicles aren't selling. Another weaknesses in the Volkswagen space, of course, Porsche is now offering some of their ICE vehicles, for example, in the Macan, where they could not sell EVs. Certainly VAG, Audi, a lot of their e-tron vehicles are discontinuing some of their electric vehicles. It's pretty clear that a lot of the space, a lot of the vehicles within the VAG group or the Volkswagen Audi group are deciding to go bye-bye. Now, with that said, they tried to reinvent themselves. That's not working out very well either. And we're talking about Jaguar, as you see right here, part of the JLR group, Jaguar Land Rover. And sadly, they make such beautiful cars. Obviously, you've got the big kitty right there, the purring kitty, beautiful headlights on this vehicle. Obviously, all kinds of nice detail, laser cut wheels and fold away mirrors. Of course, you get the big glass that slides back here, and an XF, which is their larger sedan that they've made in recent years. As you can see, you're dealing with a diesel all-wheel drive version. These are absolutely gorgeous and great to drive. On top of it, you also have an XE, but you also have the F-Pace, E-Pace, and as well the F-Type, the sports car. But unfortunately, because of drastic declining sales, a lot of the brand is no longer desirable. A lot of people are not buying them, looking for lower cost alternatives and something with a little bit more brand recognition, or and certainly more reliability. I mean, a lot of the Jaguars have had issues with O2 sensors, carbon fouling, supercharger couplings on some of the F-Types, and supercharged engines with the V6s and V8s have had issues with blown engines, rod bearing problems, O2 sensors, fuel injectors, and the whole gambit. These vehicles here, you can also get issues with infotainment problems, as well as fueling issues right there, and electric issues all the way around. Unfortunately, Jaguar has not been the epitome of reliability. Even though these cars are spectacular to drive, they're wonderful, sadly, the reliability has not been enough to hold them together. And now with the transition to the EV marketplace, they weren't quite ready, and they actually took a year off. Did you see the branding that Jaguar came out with? They clearly took a stance, and a lot of people took exception. That pushed a lot more people outside of the brand. And even though they claim they want to take a year off and become a little bit more niche in what they call the new Type 00, unfortunately it may be too little too late. And right now as it stands, no new vehicles on the market, and only one specific vehicle that looks extremely out there with a niche identifier means that Jaguar, clearly in my opinion, may not have a future. So I don't know if Jaguar have had any hopes. I mean, people weren't buying them since 2016. Sales have been in the tank, in the toilet. So what about the last one? We know Nissan is another brand that they even talked about 12 to 14 months. Definitely not likely going to make it through 2025. Initially, they talked about Honda tagging up and supporting Nissan in their efforts, and it was going to be a three-way as well with Mitsubishi to try to collaborate and build an effective, cost-effective, affordable electric vehicle. But since then, Honda said, you know what, no, we don't want any part of that. We're stepping on each other's toes here. Honda wanted to suggest that Nissan would be sort of a subsidiary, and Nissan really didn't want any part of that. Here we're looking at a Nissan product, and this is the Kicks. Obviously a Nissan Kicks, the Versa Note, the Nissan Altima, the Nissan Sentra, the Nissan Frontier pickup truck, as well as the Titan, which is being discontinued. The Nissan Z car as well. There's a whole pile of different models, but unfortunately, Nissan as a brand has struggled with durability issues because of the continuously variable transmission that they put in almost every one of their vehicles, other than the full-size vehicles, which are using the torque converter auto. Most of the smaller vehicles that are using this CVT, which is a series of belts and pulleys, and has caused a lot of problems for reliability, durability, and reputational issues for Nissan. As a result, some of the quality challenges, people are steering away. They'd much rather go with something that's built by this brand. Obviously with Toyota, they build a vehicle that is much more durable. Even Subaru, even with their lacking reliability with certain engines and certain drivetrains, they too are more reliable and are a good alternative. Unfortunately, Nissan products just haven't been getting the fanfare and the love lately. And sadly, sadly, because of that, as well as dwindling sales across the global market and their fact that they're not really all that competitive in the electrified market, they're losing mass amounts of market share in the Chinese market where they held a lot of foothold. Sadly, Nissan is drying up as a market brand, and on top of it, the first half of 2024, they actually forfeited about 99% of their profits just to get people to buy these vehicles through incentives, through marketing, but it wasn't enough. Because since then, Nissan's also lost their CFO. He jumped off this sinking ship, and the CEO has decided to take a 50% pay cut. The brand is seriously in distress. Nissan, in fact, long-term, may not have a sustainable future. And Nissan, with their shrinking market cap, I'm not sure that even a change to a torque converter automatic transmission in the upcoming Rogue is going to be enough to turn it around. We know the CVT transmission has absolutely caused a total decimation of the reliability records, and it hasn't helped. Spending all that extra cost as well from Nissan to offer up incentives as well as advertising, they've spent all their profits and there's nothing left. They're having to downsize, they're having to get rid of smaller operating dealerships, as well as combine the efforts with Infiniti, their upscale luxury brand. But not sure all these efforts are enough to keep the doors open and the lights on. And with all of that said, of course, these brands are likely not to be around very much longer, in my own personal opinion. And as well, be sure, if you're not sure where all those vehicles are disappearing to that are not selling. We know Stellantis had a lot of them, you know, with the obviously Alfa Romeo, Maserati, Jeeps, Rams. A lot of them don't sell. Where do they go? Check it out. You're going to want to see all about it. Hope to see each and every one in the next one. We'll see you all real soon. All right. Bye-bye.